Imagine a city built for the future. Its boulevards are wide and perfectly paved, stretching for miles without a single car in sight. Gleaming skyscrapers of glass and steel rise into the sky, their modern designs reflecting the clouds above. Below them, futuristic public parks with manicured lawns and smart benches sit empty. A high-speed train station, colossal in size and capable of handling tens of thousands of passengers every day, echoes with an unnerving silence. This is not a scene from a science fiction movie. This is Xiong'an New Area, a real city located just 100 kilometers south of Beijing, designed to be a landmark of modern China. It is a place where every detail has been meticulously planned to create a perfect urban environment. The vision for Xiong'an is one of a high-tech green metropolis. It is designed to be a model smart city, where technology manages everything from traffic flow to energy consumption. Streetlights are intelligent, monitoring their surroundings to save power. An advanced urban computing center, the city's digital brain, oversees all municipal services. The buildings are constructed with the latest sustainable materials, and green spaces are woven throughout the urban landscape. It is supposed to be a showcase for the world, demonstrating China's ability to build the most advanced and environmentally friendly cities. Everything about Xiong'an speaks of ambition, progress, and a future where urban life is seamless and efficient. Despite the incredible investment and futuristic infrastructure, a profound emptiness pervades Xiong'an. The residential towers designed to house millions stand largely vacant. The state-of-the-art office buildings have few, if any, tenants to fill their floors. The vibrant community that was supposed to flourish here simply has not arrived. The city feels less like a bustling hub of innovation and more like a pristine, abandoned film set. It is a ghost city, not of decay and ruin, but of unfulfilled potential. It has all the physical components of a major metropolis, but it is missing the most essential ingredient: people. The city exists, but the community does not. This strange paradox is the central story of Xiong'an. It is a project of immense national importance, backed by the highest levels of government, yet it struggles to attract the very people it was built for. The streets are clean, the technology is advanced, and the buildings are new, but the soul of the city is absent. It raises a fundamental question about urban development in the 21st century. Can a city be willed into existence through sheer political power and financial might alone? Or does a true city require something more organic, something that cannot be planned or engineered? Xiong'an stands as a monumental experiment, and its quiet streets offer a powerful, if unsettling, answer. The creation of Xiong'an New Area is not just another urban development project, it is a personal mission of China's president, Xi Jinping. He has called it a strategy of millennial significance, placing it on par with historic economic transformations like the Shenzhen Special Economic Zone. The primary goal was to solve the problem of Beijing. China's capital has become overwhelmed by its own success, suffering from severe overcrowding, traffic congestion, and pollution. The government wanted to move non-essential functions, like state-owned enterprise headquarters, universities, and research institutions, out of Beijing to create a more livable capital. Xiong'an was chosen as the perfect location to absorb this overflow and build a new modern center from scratch. This vision goes far beyond simply moving people and offices. Xiong'an is intended to be a blueprint for a new kind of Chinese city. It is a top-down experiment in creating an ideal urban space, free from the messy, unplanned growth that characterized older cities. The government controls every aspect of its development, from the industries that are allowed to operate to the design of its buildings. The focus is on high-tech sectors like artificial intelligence, biotechnology, and aerospace. The goal is to create an innovation hub that will drive China's future economic growth, proving that a state-controlled model can outperform the market-driven chaos of Western cities. President Xi's strong personal backing is the driving force behind the entire project. His name is linked to it at every turn, making its success a matter of political legacy and national pride. This is not a project that can be allowed to fail. Because of his direct involvement, vast state resources have been poured into Xiong'an with incredible speed. It is a demonstration of the power of China's central planning system to mobilize capital and labor on a massive scale. The city is meant to stand as a testament to the strength and foresight of his leadership, a shining example of the Chinese dream made real. Its success would validate the top-down approach to governance. However, This intense political investment also creates immense pressure. The project's success is measured not just in economic terms, but in political ones. Any sign of struggle or failure is seen as a reflection on the central government's authority. This has led to a situation where official reports paint a picture of steady progress and growing vibrancy, even when reality on the ground suggests otherwise. The city must succeed, because the alternative is unthinkable. This makes Xiong'an more than just a city. It is a symbol of a political ideology and a high-stakes gamble on a particular vision for China's future. The construction of Xiong'an has been a breathtaking display of speed and scale. Since the project was announced in 2017, a flat, rural landscape of farms and small villages has been transformed into a sprawling urban zone. The total investment is estimated to be around $93 billion, a staggering sum dedicated to building a city from the ground up. This money has funded the creation of a vast network of infrastructure before a significant population has even arrived. The government's strategy was to build it first, believing that world-class facilities would inevitably attract the people. This approach has resulted in a city of incredible, yet empty monuments. Among the most impressive structures is the Xiong'an railway station. It is an architectural marvel covering an area the size of 88 football fields. It was designed to be a major transportation hub, connecting the new city to Beijing and the rest of the country with high-speed rail. It was built to handle up to 100,000 passengers per day, yet today it sees only a tiny fraction of that number. Similarly, luxury hotels, modern office towers, and vast exhibition centers have been completed, all standing ready for a bustling city life that has yet to materialize. The streets are lined with advanced infrastructure, but they lead to buildings with no one inside. Beyond the commercial and transport hubs, the city has been designed with green living in mind. Expansive parks like Jinhu Park have been created, offering serene lakes and lush greenery. Entire new districts are being developed, including a dedicated college town intended to house branches of Beijing's elite universities and science parks like the ZGC Science Park, meant to foster innovation. The speed of this construction is a testament to China's engineering prowess. What would take decades to build in other countries has appeared in just a few years. The physical city of Xiong'an is, in many ways, already a reality. However, this rapid top-down construction highlights the project's core challenge. The focus has been entirely on the hardware of the city, the buildings, the roads, the technology. Little attention was paid to the software, the community, the culture, the economy that makes a city live and breathe. The result is a technically perfect but soulless creation. It is a powerful showcase of what a centralized government can build, but it is also a stark reminder that concrete and steel alone do not make a city. The sheer scale of the construction is undeniable, but it is a scale that, for now, only emphasizes the scale of the emptiness. Despite the official claims of a growing population, the reality in Xiong'an is one of profound quiet. The wide, multi-lane roads are mostly deserted, a strange sight in a country known for its traffic-clogged cities. The newly built residential complexes with their thousands of identical apartments have very few lights on at night. While the government reports a population nearing 2 million, a closer look reveals that this number is misleading. The majority of these residents are not the skilled professionals and innovative entrepreneurs the city was designed to attract. Instead, they are the original inhabitants of the area, farmers and villagers whose homes were demolished to make way for the new metropolis. These locals were forcibly relocated into the new high-rise apartments. Their traditional way of life was erased, replaced by an urban existence they did not choose. They were given new homes, but they lost their land, their jobs, and their communities. Many of these relocated residents struggle to find work, as the promised high-tech jobs have not materialized on a large scale. The main source of employment during the construction boom was temporary labor, which is now dwindling as major projects are completed. This has created a population that is present but not integrated into the city's futuristic vision. They are occupants, not stakeholders. The city's social fabric is noticeably thin. A thriving city needs more than just housing and offices. It needs restaurants, shops, entertainment venues, and cultural spaces where people can gather and form connections. In Xiong'an, these elements are largely missing. There is a lack of the organic street-level activity that gives a city its character and energy. Without the small businesses, the local markets, and the spontaneous social interactions, there is little to do and no sense of community. It is a sterile environment, meticulously planned but devoid of the charming chaos that makes urban life appealing. This absence of a genuine community is perhaps the biggest barrier to Xiong'an's success. People are social creatures who are drawn to places with history, culture, and a sense of belonging. Xiong'an has none of these things. It was created from a blank slate, with no existing culture to build upon. It feels artificial because it is. The silence of its streets is not just a lack of noise, it is the sound of a city without a soul. It is a place waiting for life to begin, but the spark of community has yet to be ignited, leaving behind a beautiful but empty shell. The central puzzle of Xiong'an is why so few people are choosing to move there, despite the government's immense push. The primary reason is economic. The city's economy is not growing organically, it's being engineered from the top down. The government has handpicked the industries it wants: artificial intelligence, big data, aerospace, but honestly, these sectors have been slow to establish a real presence. State-owned enterprises have been ordered to set up offices, but many of these are just token branches with a skeleton staff. There are just not enough real, high-quality job opportunities to attract the talented professionals from Beijing and other major cities. People are reluctant to uproot their lives for a city with an uncertain economic future. Another major deterrent is the rigid control over the economy, particularly the housing market. To prevent the kind of real estate speculation that has created housing bubbles in other Chinese cities, the government has effectively eliminated the private property market in Xiong'an. Housing is state-owned and allocated, not bought and sold. While this keeps prices down, it also removes a key incentive for people to invest in the city. For many in China's middle class, property ownership is a primary means of building wealth. Without the ability to buy a home and see its value grow, moving to Xiong'an feels like a poor financial decision. Furthermore, Xiong'an lacks the social and cultural magnetism of established cities. Beijing is not just a place of work. It's a vibrant cultural center with a deep history, world-class universities, diverse entertainment, and extensive social networks. People build their lives, friendships, and careers there over many years. Moving to Xiong'an means leaving all of that behind for a place with, well, no history, no established social scene, and limited amenities. Even though some top Beijing schools have opened branches in Xiong'an, this has not been enough to convince families to make the move. The quality of life is not just about clean air and new buildings, it's about community, opportunity, and connection. Ultimately, the failure to attract residents reveals a misunderstanding of what makes a city desirable. People are not simply chess pieces to be moved around on a board. They make decisions based on a complex mix of economic incentives, social desires, and personal aspirations. Xiong'an offers a planned, sterile perfection, but it lacks the dynamic, sometimes chaotic energy of a city that has grown organically. It provides housing but not homes, jobs but not careers, and a location but not a community. Until it can offer these fundamental human necessities, its gleaming towers are likely to remain empty. In the summer of 2023, northern China was hit by devastatingly heavy rains and widespread flooding. As the floodwaters surged through the Hai River Basin, a critical decision was made by the authorities. To protect the new, largely empty city of Xiong'an from being inundated, officials ordered the diversion of the floodwaters. Spillways and floodgates were opened to channel the torrents towards surrounding areas, particularly the city of Zhuozhou and other populated towns and villages in Hebei province. These communities, home to hundreds of thousands of people, were deliberately sacrificed to save the prestigious and still underpopulated national project. The consequences for the surrounding regions were catastrophic. Entire towns were submerged, homes were destroyed, and agricultural land was ruined. Residents were caught off guard, with many losing everything they owned. The act of saving an empty city at the expense of vibrant, established communities sparked a rare and intense wave of public anger. On social media and in street protests, people questioned the government's priorities. They saw the decision as a clear sign that the symbolic value of Xiong'an was more important to the state than the lives and livelihoods of ordinary citizens. The phrase, "protecting Xiong'an," became a bitter slogan of resentment. This incident severely damaged public trust in the Xiong'an project and the government's narrative surrounding it. For years, the state had promoted the city as a people-centric, futuristic utopia. But when faced with a crisis, the authorities appeared to prioritize concrete and political prestige over actual people. This created a deep sense of alienation among the very population the region is supposed to serve. Why would anyone want to move to a city that is protected by sacrificing its neighbors? The floods exposed the cold, hard logic of central planning, where abstract goals can override human concerns. The long-term impact of the 2023 floods on Xiong'an's reputation is significant. It reinforced the perception of the city as an artificial and imposed project, disconnected from the surrounding region. Instead of being seen as a beacon of progress, it became a symbol of inequality and state indifference. The incident highlighted the human cost of such a massive, top-down endeavor. Protecting the empty shell of a future dream by drowning the homes of the present population was a public relations disaster, creating a legacy of bitterness that will be difficult to overcome and further discouraging people from embracing the city as their own. To understand Xiong'an's struggles, it's useful to compare it to China's most famous urban success story, Shenzhen. In the 1980s, Shenzhen was just a small fishing village. Today, it's a thriving global technology hub with a population of over 17 million people. Like Xiong'an, Shenzhen was a state-planned special economic zone. However, the models behind their creation honestly could not be more different. Shenzhen's success was built on a foundation of market-driven growth, openness, and experimentation. The government set the stage but then stepped back, allowing private enterprise and foreign investment to flourish with minimal interference. Shenzhen's planners embraced a philosophy of crossing the river by feeling the stones. They encouraged competition and allowed the city to grow organically. Entrepreneurs and migrants from all over China flocked to Shenzhen, drawn by the promise of opportunity and the freedom to innovate. It became a place where anyone with a good idea and a strong work ethic could get rich. This bottom-up energy created a dynamic and resilient economy. The city government played a supportive role, building infrastructure and creating a business-friendly environment, but it didn't dictate which industries should succeed or which companies should operate. Xiong'an, on the other hand, represents the opposite approach. It's a rigid, top-down model where the state is in absolute control. The government has predetermined everything: the city's layout, its architectural style, and its key industries. There's really no room for the spontaneous, messy growth that characterized Shenzhen. The private real estate market is banned, and private businesses face significant restrictions. This has stifled the entrepreneurial spirit that was so crucial to Shenzhen's rise. Instead of a magnet for ambitious risk-takers, Xiong'an is a place for compliant state-owned enterprises and government institutions. This fundamental difference explains why one city thrived and the other is struggling. Shenzhen succeeded because it harnessed the power of human ambition and market forces. It created an ecosystem where innovation and opportunity could emerge from the ground up. Xiong'an is attempting to engineer success from the top down, believing that perfect planning can replace the unpredictable energy of a free market and a free-moving populace. The story of these two cities offers a powerful lesson. While a government can build the physical structures of a city, it can't easily create the economic dynamism and social vibrancy that make people want to live there. While Xiong'an is promoted as a green and sustainable city, the massive and rapid construction has come at a significant ecological cost. The area's environment is dominated by the Beijing wetland, which is a crucial ecosystem in the dry North China Plain. The initial vision for Xiong'an included restoring and protecting this wetland as a central feature of the city's green identity. Indeed, in the years leading up to the main construction phase, efforts to clean up the wetland resulted in some improvements to the overall ecological quality of the region. However, this positive trend began to reverse once the building frenzy truly began. A scientific study published in March 2025, which used satellite imagery to assess the ecological health of the area, revealed a worrying trend. Since 2021, the core development zones of Xiong'an have experienced significant ecological deterioration. The process of turning farmland and natural habitats into concrete and asphalt has inevitably damaged the local environment. The construction of roads, buildings, and other infrastructure disrupts natural water flows, destroys vegetation, and pollutes the air and soil. The dream of a city and a park is colliding with the harsh reality of building a metropolis for millions from scratch. The study projects that this ecological polarization is likely to increase by 2030. While some peripheral areas and the protected parts of the wetland might see improvements due to restoration efforts, the central urban core is expected to suffer from worsening environmental quality. This creates a paradox. A city that is supposed to be a model of sustainability is in fact creating a zone of ecological stress at its very heart. The promise of a green city is being compromised by the sheer intensity of its own creation. It shows how difficult it is to balance large-scale urbanization with genuine environmental protection. This ecological impact further complicates the narrative of Xiong'an. It raises questions about the true sustainability of building massive new cities instead of developing existing ones. The environmental cost is a hidden price tag on this grand national project. While the finished city may feature parks and clean energy, the process of getting there involves a level of environmental disruption that really can't be ignored. It serves as a cautionary tale that even with the best green intentions, the act of imposing a massive city onto a natural landscape will always have profound and often negative ecological consequences. The story of Xiong'an brings us to a fundamental question about the nature of cities. Can a successful city be fully designed and implemented by a central authority, or is it an organic entity that must grow and evolve on its own? Xiong'an represents the ultimate test of the top-down planning model. It's a project backed by immense political will and nearly unlimited financial resources. It has the best technology, the most modern infrastructure, and a design that is, on paper, nearly perfect. Yet it remains a city in search of a soul, a collection of buildings waiting for a community to call them home. The government's commitment to Xiong'an remains unwavering. Official statements continue to project confidence, insisting that the city is a long-term project and that its success is inevitable. They point to the gradual relocation of some government offices and the establishment of university campuses as signs of progress. The hope is that over time a critical mass of people and businesses will be reached, and the city will finally come to life. The state is playing the long game, betting that its sheer persistence will eventually overcome the current challenges of emptiness and economic stagnation. It cannot afford for its Millennium Strategy to be seen as a failure. However, critics argue that without a fundamental shift in strategy, Xiong'an risks becoming a permanent monument to failed ambition. A city needs more than just government decrees to thrive. It needs the unpredictable energy of private enterprise, the freedom for people to pursue their own opportunities, and the organic growth of culture and community. The current model, with its strict controls and lack of market incentives, actively suppresses these vital elements. It's a city built on commands rather than on choices, and people are voting with their feet by choosing to stay in the messy, imperfect, but vibrant cities they already know. In the end, Xiong'an's fate remains uncertain. It may one day grow into the bustling, innovative hub that its planners envisioned, or it may remain a costly and underpopulated ghost city, a powerful lesson on the limits of central planning. Its empty streets and silent towers serve as a stark reminder that a community cannot be engineered like a skyscraper or a high-speed railway. A true city is more than just a collection of infrastructure. It's a living, breathing ecosystem of human connection, ambition, and freedom. Whether Xiong'an can ever become such a place is the $93 billion question.